I want for Christmas. You know, a lot of the time I try not to bring my personal life into my YouTube channel, but sometimes it happens, so I guess that's what they mean by real journalism. I think they called it gonzo journalism, the expression of one's complete self in their writing or reporting. And so by no means is that really my take on things. But recently, I think the one thing that has really eaten into my holiday season this year is the number of people who complain. I am getting to be so frustrated with complaining that it makes me doubt how long I'm going to be able to do this. I know complaining is a reality, but when everybody does it at once, it's sort of like it's just sort of like having tinnitus. It just becomes a relentless ringing noise in one's ear that never relents. And so one of the reasons that I'm talking about this is because I would love to see people handle their issues with me in a more mature and more focused way instead of just complaining. So complaining is something people do when you have a 1995 GMC Jimmy and you took the car to your local repair shop and spent $1,500 on a radiator, a water pump, and an AC compressor, and the car still overheats when you're done and nobody's answering the phone. I always tell people I don't like complaints, but I don't like complaints, but I don't mind questions. Like as in, hey, is this working right? Can you take a look at it? You know, and then I can generally rearrange my schedule. So here's why I hate complaining. I think I've earned the right to hate complaining because usually when there's a problem, I deal with it. I pay for things like shipping expenses and airfare out of pocket. I mean, I've spent thousands of dollars in 2021 because I couldn't travel, shipping customer cars to my shop for repairs. What do you do when people just still keep complaining? You know, I mean, it's okay for people to send me a question and say, hey, should my car be doing this? Or, hey, there's something wrong with my car, I need your help. But when people just say things like, what did you charge you for? Or, hey, the car's still not working right, you know, and I didn't have a very long period of time with it to sort out all of its issues. I don't know, it just makes me not want to do this. You know, I mean, most people, I was going back and forth with a customer who owes me some money because he sort of forced his car in here after having another car in here. I won't say any names, but like, you know, now the customer didn't want to pay the last $1,300 of his bill. You know, people don't realize how much personal sacrifice I have to put into my life to do this job. So first of all, I don't like having to work every spare minute I have, but that's what I have to do. And believe me, if you think that the only thing I do is work on cars, you're dead wrong, because I have to spend a lot of time invoicing and looking up parts and answering people's emails and questions and dealing with their complaints. And the last one, dealing with their complaints, is a massive psychological burden, because what it does is it makes a person angry. It makes the person angry and hate their job and get really frustrated while they're working. So I don't know. Here are some of the complaints that I don't like. These are the ones I really don't like. When I finish a car and after I send it home, the customer says, car's not working right. Like they don't even give me a cool, relaxed list of what's actually wrong with the car. Another complaint I have is when people ask me when I'm going to be done with their estimate or when I can get their car in. Usually I just call them when I'm ready for it. Does everybody get the same speed of service? No. If you have a major project, I have to wait a lot longer to uptake your car because it has to displace another major project. I can't fix things quickly here. It doesn't work because parts take forever to arrive. I mean, half the parts for every car need to come out of Germany. And I have to make multiple Germany parts orders. I mean, how does that work, you know? There's like a 747 right now flying over the ocean that has parts in it for my customers' cars. So nothing is going to happen fast. But when people keep asking me when they can get their car in here, it's not like I don't want people to bring their car to me. I do. I just don't like the pressure of when people put pressure on me, because I'm going to get back to you regardless. I just don't like the pressure. I think that one of the other problems is that some people actually send cars here. They don't pay their bill immediately. Like when I send you an invoice, if I send you an invoice needs to get paid immediately, barring that there's nothing major wrong with the car. If there is something wrong with the car, you need to let me know so I can come out and deal with it. But for those of you that pay your invoices as soon as they get them, God bless you. I mean, it's wonderful. Unfortunately, it's only about half of you. The other half think that, they'll get it out to me whenever, a week or two or whatever. So I don't take credit cards, by the way, to keep costs down and ensure that my customers have personal information security. I don't want to be responsible for personal information that gets leaked. And believe me, that happens with credit cards all the time. So if you charge a large amount of money to a credit card, some hacker who's looking at the transactions is going to see it and say, oh, this person has a lot of money and probably very good credit. I'm going to steal some of that. So I try to protect my customer's identity by not using credit cards. But I don't know. I mean, there are a lot of things. I think a third thing is people asking when their car is going to be done. People seem to think that when a car comes in here, I start working on it immediately. That's not necessarily the case because I have other cars that were here beforehand that have to get finished. It's not fair to the people that shipped me cars 6 months ago for me to just stop working on their car and start working on the car that came in. It's just not. When people complain about the timeline, I had one friend of mine say, everybody complains about how long it takes at your shop. Yeah, well, no way. No way things are going to move fast here because, Mercedes doesn't move fast. I mean, I know that one of my parts guys, not you, Tom, or John, in case you're watching, but one of my parts guys, I'm lucky if he calls me back the next day. Why do I deal with him? Because he is very good about providing discounts, and he has occasionally pulled a rabbit out of his hat, but mostly because I don't have the time to go set up shop with another dealer. By the way, if you're a Mercedes parts guy and you want to give me a 30% discount, reach out to me. I want your you might want my business because I order a lot of stuff. My Q4 orders from Mercedes have been about $40,000, but stuff needs to show up fast. What a mouthful. Another thing I don't like is when people seem to have this expectation that they bring me a 35-year-old car and it's going to come back as a perfect new car. That never happens. I don't have perfect new cars. My cars aren't perfect, And all older cars are going to leak. Like, there's no point in time where if you want something done to the car, you get to stop paying for repairs. That's not how it works. If I call Mercedes and I say, hey, I spent $20,000 on this car for parts. I think I need another $1,000 in parts. I'd like it for free. It doesn't work that way. If you have a 35-year-old car that starts to leak or a 35-year-old car whose engine develops a rough idle, I mean, stuff happens with 35-year-old cars. Stuff happens with new cars. It's just new car manufacturers are very good about covering their ass and making sure that nobody sees what happened to their cars. Anyway, I've probably complained enough about people complaining. Maybe when I was in Landmark Forum, they told me that you have to let people know how it is, like how you feel about stuff. I'm not opposed to that at all. But I think the most amount of gratitude, like the customers I have the best relationship with and the customers that I like the most are the ones who alert me when there's a problem, don't complain so much to the point where it just hurts when there is one. Because people know that I show up on weekends. They know that I show up on weeknights, sometimes 150 miles away. They know that I'm going to be there to help them. It's just I wish that people would realize that you don't have to issue a complaint to me to know that I'm going to be there to assist you. So, anyway, everybody have a Merry Christmas and have a great New Year. My New Year's resolution is to try to get work done faster with the same level of accuracy. And if you guys could help me out by just being a little more gentle so that I can help all of you and not just respond to putting out fires all the time, as my good friend David Reed says. I don't know. I just want to be able to help you guys and stay in business without losing my mind. So enjoy watching this channel, and if you have a classic Mercedes, I promise you the next video will probably be more useful. Thanks.